Welcome to Iacon Underground Radio for the week of February 10th, 2016. I'm Jen.
I'm Alex.
I'm David.
So we've got not a whole lot of news this week, but that's okay because we also have a new issue of More Than Meets the Eye to go over. We're on issue 49, leading up to a big celebratory issue 50. But we will get to that. First, news.
And now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Well, one thing we've got is some BotCon news about a new toy. I think, David, you brought this up first.
Yeah, right while I was editing the last episode. It turns out we're getting another BotCon Megatron. A BotCon Megatron we almost got like a dozen years ago. Was it? Or a decade ago?
Yeah, the TF Wiki, and I'll link to this on the blog, but the TF Wiki has some unused pictures, some unused art by Dan Canna of 3H's proposal to do basically what was his Japanese name, Gigatron or something?
Yes, Gigatron was his Japanese name.
But yes, the car robots, what became robots in disguise, Megatron and then Galvatron. You know, hand mode. The hand mode guy.
the guy of somewhere between 8 and 10 different modes, none of which look that great. Well, robot looks okay, dragons, and the hand is adorable.
However, the use of the hand in the cartoon led to those episodes being taken off the air shortly in the aftermath of 9/11.
Yeah, that was bad timing.
That was not great. There was a bit from the cartoon where the hand grabbed a building. But anyway, the important thing is it's Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron, because they're doing a Beast Wars theme this year. He is in Dragon Megatron, so Season 3 Transmetal 2 Dragon Megatron colors, with, admittedly, part of what I'm saying here is just going off the art, which, like I said, I'll link, which I have no reason to think they're doing, because I know that Dan Canna, has Dan Canna done any, official art for FunPub?
Yeah, he's done some file cards and stuff.
Didn't he draw some of it, or some of the strips? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think he has done fiction stuff too. He did Balancing Act Vector Prime, Descent into Evil, Dawn of Future Space. He did a lot of stuff.
Oh.
Okay, so he
more recently covers than interiors, but he's done his share of both.
Yeah.
So yes, the glimpse that we got of it is from a promotional video for BotCon 2016, which has a voiceover by David Kay, which is pretty great.
It's wonderful hearing him do the role again.
Yes.
Even if it's very, very wrong hearing Megatron saying Kentucky.
It does feel odd.
It's a little silly. But yes, it's Megatron introducing the Predacon combiners, who we've all seen at this point, the Tripredacus Council, and then the Tarantulas and the Ravage. And then at the end, it's not a toy mock-up, but they do show art, which, I don't know, I don't think that looks like Dan Canna's art so much.
No.
I guess it could be with the wrong coloring.
Well, it kind of looks like whoever's been did the box art for a while at least. Was it?
Marcello Materi?
Yeah, it kind of looks.
It does look like Marcello Materi's work.
But it's just the head and chest, which are pretty much exactly the same design as the old Megatron that never got made.
Well, it's also the same, it's very similar in design to actual Transmetal 2 Megatron.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah, it's just a new head with a oddly stretched Predacon logo.
Yes.
Yeah, well...
I mean, the important details to note are that he's got that circle in the middle of his chest. He's got those two sort of diamond shapes that come up on the side, which are, it looks like, I wonder if they're going to chrome that, do that in gold chrome.
Maybe.
That would be really cool,
Well, they have used this mold before for Deathsaurus. And
yeah.
I think the chest on that's chromed? I have him in another room. I don't really want to get up and go get him.
It takes work. But yeah, you can tell from...
It was chromed on that release.
So you can tell from the chest that you see that that's the toy that it's using, and you can tell from the head and also the voiceover that it's Beast Wars Megatron. He's got those two, I guess 4 sort of fangy, clawy sort of bits on the sides of his helmet coming in towards his face. I mean, it's clearly Beast Wars Megatron. It is, he doesn't have it's a purple face. Yeah, I guess it's pretty, I thought there was some detail like that was off, but yeah, it is pretty similar. I mean, there's only so far you can deviate with that basic idea. I mean,
it's very much exactly the concept it was then. That doesn't make it any less good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good idea. Though, I mean, that sort of falls into the category of the original toy not being, I would say this is probably going to be just as expensive as just buying the original toy secondhand, which seems to defeat some of the purpose of that sort of thing, but, oh well. So, other news we've got, this person who keeps leaking these pictures in black and white and all cropped up. And like, this one, so he had pictures, I'm gonna say he, because this is someone who's obviously trying to like compensate for some sort of penis size issues. But leaked.
Somebody on Twitter, it was leaking he's been leaking from Titan Wars, just oddly cropped black and white photos of box.
And, well, there were, that same person did some Combiner Wars ones too.
Oh,
because there was that, one arm of Computron, and there was, parts of, Lio Kaiser. But yes, this person.
Where they, crop it weirdly and desaturate it and invert the colors, and it's just, why?
Yeah, I think this is the first one where the colors have been, is this the first one where the colors have been, flipped?
I think so. Were they inverted?
So they leaked a Titan, half a picture of Titan Wars Astro Train, which does look pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's the Sentinel Prime we've already had pictures of, which is orange, and he looked kind of obviously like he transforms into Astro Train, because he transforms into a sort of space jet thingy and a train thingy that kind of looks like the Omega Supreme from, what was that?
Oh, Energon?
Energon.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it does have I thought that too. It's got that very sort of Energon Omega Supreme train mode look.
Yeah, so if you change the orange and red into black and white, yeah, it looks just like Astro Train with a different head. Now, yeah, it is Astro Train. Big surprise.
Yes. So yes, this time it's all photo negative looking and really? Why is he doing this?
It does seem weird that if you're leaking stuff, you're only leaking a twisted version of half of it, if even that. Just leak it. Who cares? It's bad enough you're leaking, but...
Maybe they're trying to crop out, identifying stuff.
Maybe?
But,
that's possible.
Even then.
But then the color changing is just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Just being silly. So there's that. Other toy news. We've got, I think, we were discussing last week how there were no good scale pictures of Masterpiece Optimus Primal, and then almost immediately there were scale pictures of Masterpiece Optimus Primal.
Yes, because Japan, from the Wonder
Yay.
Festival, the One Fest 2016, the winter one, I guess.
Yeah, so we got some pictures from that. Looks like he is going to be a little bit bigger than I assume that was the big Rhinox that just came out recently.
Yeah, that's the Voyager.
Yeah, the Voyager-sized one. So that's actually pretty big.
Yeah, because Rhinox is, let me get out my ruler, about 16 centimeters or so, 15.
Is this Canadian stuff that you rob?
More people might know. Fine, well, I'll use the other. 6 inches. He's about 6 inches, and Masterpiece Primal looks like he's a wee bit taller, maybe half an inch taller. Mm-hmm. A centimeter or two.
So yeah, I wouldn't say he's quite as big as the original, but he's definitely not small.
He's going to be sort of in scale with Rhinox and Rat Trap, just not Dinobot that we got. And, well, I don't have Cheetor, so I can't compare him.
I mean, I guess that's, we were talking about the cars mostly being in scale with each other and with the sort of in scale with the jets. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good scale to go for, is in scale with the other Beast Wars toys they've done recently.
Yeah, especially if they make more that are basically the same size as him. If we get a Megatron, God forbid a Dinobot, although I don't know you'd exactly... Dinobot's transformation is impossible to make him screen accurate.
Yeah, I would be sort of curious to see them try, but I don't think anyone is going to succeed. I think
the only way to make it work is like part swapping. Like you use the legs and the torso and everything else just gets thrown away.
I was going to say I'd settle for 2 Action Master Dinobots.
I'd prefer that, but...
And one's just a dinosaur?
Yes.
Would they just use like a Jurassic Park Velociraptor mold?
Pretty much.
Can't think of a reason not to.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I would support that. So the only other real news, unless anyone's got any other ideas, the only other news that has really come out this week was talk, and this is something that seems to come up, I swear this comes up every so often, but there was talk about Hasbro approaching Mattel about a merger.
Yeah, apparently they approached him about a merger months and months ago. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen or something. Because it's like, I think Hasbro at the time was doing better, but now Mattel's doing better or something. But just the idea of Hasbro and Mattel merging together to form Hazmat.
Yeah.
That's who you want to be. I can't imagine how Mattel could be doing better.
Yeah, Hasbro did just kind of steal $1 billion worth of Disney Princess merchandise business from them.
Yeah, that may have changed things. It's wibbly wobbly. They're close to the same level. I'm not sure how, because He-Man's not doing well, but maybe Barbie does a lot more business for them than I know.
Barbie and then the juggernaut that is Hot Wheels.
Oh, how do you forget Hot Wheels? Yeah.
It's best to forget it's best to forget Hot Wheels collectors.
Yeah.
I used to... When I'd go to like Walmart's late at night looking at pallets for new cases of stuff back when I had nothing better to do. It was always what the Walmart employees would dread would be that we were looking for Hot Wheels because they would have stories of the Hot Wheels people they had to deal with, the poor like night shift people at Walmart.
And has the BotCon convention bumped up against Hot Wheels conventions before?
I don't know.
I know I've been to like anime conventions when there was Hot Wheels like conventions and people would not go over there. We have enough problems with our anime toys.
The only one I can think of offhand was the Great Year where it was in the same like little complex as like a Games Workshop convention and a horror convention.
Ooh.
That sounds like it would have been a fun year.
It was pretty good. It was pretty fun.
Was it back when Games Workshop didn't take themselves so dang seriously?
Probably. It was a pretty long time ago. Before they started suing people for using the word Space Marines.
Yeah, so Hasbro and Mattel merging, it's probably not going to happen because wouldn't that break antitrust or monopoly laws or something?
It might not. The article about that actually goes into the possibility, and depending on how broadly or how narrowly they viewed it, it might or might not violate antitrust laws. Like, if you just look at toys, it probably doesn't because there's enough other business, especially Lego. But if you're cautious enough about it to break out construction toys and only look at it like, okay, does this give them a monopoly on dolls? Very yes.
Yes, dolls, action figures, lots of things.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other toy companies, but the Trendmasters and Jakks Pacific aren't that big.
No.
Yeah. Funko has been doing a bit of stuff in the more, adultish market.
But they're still mostly vinyls and things, and whoever does the little retro thingies that have no articulation.
That's Funko.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, if it's something that's made with an insane number of licenses, it's probably Funko.
Yeah.
Because Funko basically has every license.
Yeah, if we're going in America, it's Hasbro and Mattel are it. I mean, there's Bandai and other companies in Japan that don't get over here much. Wait, who brings over the Power Ranger toys? Is that Bandai themselves?
I think that's Bandai.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be. I don't know about currently. In the 90s.
Yeah, unless Bandai expands and brings Gundam models over here en masse again. Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah, that was nice.
Sorry, thank you for listening to the Jen Reminisces about the 90s podcast.
I still have unmade Gundam wing model kits.
So anyway, that's anyone got any other news to bring up this week?
Nothing I can remember, really. Some third-party junk, but we don't need to cover that.
Not unless it's really cool.
Or really
I don't think
fun.
any of it's...
Nah.
Yeah, or really funny. Funny third-party stuff is also acceptable. So, More Than Meets the Eye this week, guys.
Yay! Hey, and as usual, it's written by James Robertson. This time we have art by... let me do it again.
Hayato Sakamoto.
Hayato Sakamoto, yes.
With coordination by Phase 6, which I know I've just based on being friends with him on Facebook and, being longtime friends with him. I know one of the people involved with that is a guy known as Hydra, who I
Hail
do,
Hydra!
Yes, I do not envy him having to try to convey the nuances of a James Roberts script to someone who does not speak the same language as Mr. Roberts. Because that's a lot of words to translate.
Well, I only ever see Hydra tweet in Japanese anymore anyway, so...
Well, yeah, I mean, he's living in Japan now. He's someone who's been, involved with the fandom for a very long time, but especially in that Japanese side of things. But yeah, he tends to tweet pretty much primarily for a Japanese audience. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he has a good enough grasp of both languages, being a native English speaker who is fully immersed in Japan right now. But still, I do not envy anyone, even just the length of a James Roberts script. That's a lot to have to deal with. So we've got colors by Joanna Lafuente again, as usual, and letters by Tom B. Long, editor John Barber, etc., etc. So, we actually start out exactly where we left off last time. You have Freud and his patient / collaborator / terrifying monster in a cage, Sunder, who is disinterring, as he says, Skid's memories. A while back, we learned that Skids has something that he doesn't remember that he tried to get Chrome Dome to help him with. And that does come up briefly here. And Chrome Dome was just like, no, you don't need to remember that, bro. Just take my word for it. Let's leave that buried. And so here we're finally finding out what that little plot thread was about. We almost immediately flash back to Grindcore, where Skids has been basically Tarn, as we learned last issue. Tarn is getting Skids to help him fix a big teleporter machine, so they can send their prisoners of war off to these sort of not terraforming, cyberforming colonies to basically work as labor. And Skids' roommate at this point is Quark.
Oh, good old Quark.
He's so grumpy. I love how grumpy he always is.
Well, when you turn into a microscope, you'd be grumpy too.
Well, I guess Perceptor is also that grumpy, so.
Yes.
On the other hand, that sort of makes me wonder about Brainstorm. Okay, I'm gonna go shipping here if I'm not careful. But as readers know, Quark was someone who the Lost Lights resident mad scientist Brainstorm had very, very strong, if not necessarily or explicitly requited feelings for, to the point where he built a time machine to go back and stop the war. So, as we find out, Quark is Skids' roommate in Grindcore, and we know from the past that Quark died in Grindcore.
We did? I knew he was dead. I didn't know he died at Grindcore, but I guess I just forgot. There's so many threads in this that it's easy to lose a few of them.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this issue.
And there's so much going on in this series. But yes, it had been mentioned that Quark died at Grindcore. So basically, Quark is arguing with Skids. Once Skids, Tarn pats him on the head and tells him he did a good job and takes him back to his cell. And Quark and Skids have a debate over the morality of Skids helping fix this. Skids basically says that even Tarn has agreed to release 50 of the POWs in exchange for Skids' cooperation. And Skids is arguing that even if he goes back on that, basically these labor camps that they're trying to send them to are still better than being in Grindcore, because at least if you're labor, they care about keeping you alive. They have to make sure that you're actually taken care of. Whereas Quark, of course, just is a grump and thinks that Skids is, shouldn't be helping at all. So we come back.
He's right.
Well, yeah. It's a good political argument. Is it worse to be a prisoner or a slave?
Yeah. And that's also just comes back to the practicality of it, versus ideals versus practicality. Skids is being practical about it. He's saying that, as far as, not considering all the ramifications of morality and all, in practice, it is better to be a slave because at least they care that you're taken care of. Whereas if you're a prisoner, you could die for all they care, and it's not really going to make a difference.
Locked in a hole.
Yeah. Whereas Quark is, arguing that, morally, it's better to not be helping the Decepticons. So then we come back to the present, where Freud, for some reason, has decided to let Sunder out of his cage.
After putting his eyeballs back in the last issue.
Yeah, and I don't know how he says that this is he says it is the least worst option.
Yeah.
How would it be any worse if he stayed in the cage?
It would not.
I mean, it may just be that Freud's a big liar.
He's broken.
He's got issues.
He's kind of lost it.
Yeah. So, the last thing we see is Rung basically telling his little thumb microphone to transmit something to someone. And then the next we see is, as it says in the narrative, sometime later, where the ship's gone dark and poor little Tailgate on his hoverboard. So I love that that's his thing now, is he's just got this hoverboard.
Yeah.
It was not just a one-off joke. And he's trying to figure out where everyone's gone, because the ship, all the lights went out and everyone seems to have disappeared. And also he's finding graffiti on the wall saying Mortalist saves.
Yeah, well, he was asleep from, 2 or 3 issues ago when he did a big blast when Cyclonus got shot in the back. And
oh yeah, that was, he probably just woke up then.
Yeah.
I figured maybe he had been in his room not doing anything, not paying attention. Tailgate
waking up in the middle of things is kind of his shtick.
Aww, he's so good. Yeah, he does say that Cyclonus left a vial of his innermost energon by his bed that he found when he woke up. So the one person he finds is Getaway, who, as we learn now, is basically in prison so hard. Which
looks like he's strung up like Overlord.
Yeah.
To be fair, his name is Getaway.
Yeah, okay.
Escaping is his shtick.
So they've had to take off his arms and legs and mouth plate.
Well, it looks like they're just probably bound behind him.
Really? Kind of.
His mouth plate is bound behind him?
Well, no, I take his mouth being open as him silently screaming.
Yes.
Because of whatever Sunder is doing to everyone.
That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, that's my interpretation. But it's kind of horrifying because Getaway's face is not made to look like his mouth should open.
No,
That's not the first time it's happened.
And he should be screaming because of the balls that Tailgate finds outside in the hallway.
Yes, Tailgate finds some sort of little robot-y mechanical ball just in time for Rung to come up and tell him not to touch him. As it turns out, those balls are where Sunder, it gets into some, More Than Meets the Eye is pretty great at taking advantage of the sort of body horror that you can only do in a story with robots. So Sunder, let me read. So Sunder edits your memory so you think your alt mode is the best form of defense, and then makes you forget how to change shape. Instead of falling over, you turn yourself inside out.
Yeah, it's a body horror I've seen in other things. Like there was an anime Blue Gender that kind of did it, but there it was giant bug aliens that would turn people into balls. This is Transformers exploding inside out and rewrapping themselves into a ball.
Yeah.
On their own.
Freud describes it as, he says, I gather it's quite the most painful thing a Cybertronian can ever experience. Thanks.
It looks like it.
Be up there?
Well, I guess he'll find out soon.
I guess it might be more painful than Lengthwise.
At least with Lengthwise, you then die.
Yeah, it's over quicker.
So yeah, Tailgate is found by Rung, who's got Freud and Skids both in tow. And Skids, after a moment, starts freaking out, which they assume means that Sunder is nearby. And if
he is.
Yes, if Sunder is nearby, that means we're back to a flashback of Grindcore.
Is it just me, or does Sunder look like if Prowl was an Ava?
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe he's a weird design. It reminds me of things that I can't quite place my finger on. Like, a bit like Cybertron Megatron.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like there's a bit of influence from, now I'm forgetting.
He's vaguely the Fallen-ish, like the actual original comic.
Yeah,
except not on fire.
Yeah, I can see that
spikes
too.
And weirdness, yeah.
Yep.
Maybe there was that.
It's not the Fallen if it's not on fire.
That's true. There was a guy in the IDW stuff right around the point where I stopped reading. Because there was a point where I bought the comics, but I didn't really read them again until the death of Optimus Prime, which kicked all this stuff off. But there was a guy named, Turmoil, and he sort of reminds me a little of... basically he's a big guy who's mostly black with some red accents, and he reminds me of big black-colored robots with red accents.
Yeah, like Machine Wars Starscream.
Yeah. So back in the past, Tarn is praising Skids for a job well done. He's finished fixing the transporter. He shows him a little video on his iPad of the 50 POWs being released. So the Decepticon commander actually kept his word. And he says that since the guy who they had who was supposed to be maintaining it, Snare, who I think might have been in Last Stand of the Wreckers.
Yes, he was.
Yay! Connections and remembering things. Remembering things is the best. Since Snare watched Skids fix it, then they don't really need Skids around anymore to worry about him maybe, sabotaging something. So he's going to send Skids off to this labor camp. Skids asks if he can trade places with someone, and then we come back to the present. And back in the present...
Body horror.
Freud is going to find out exactly how painful that is. Freud gets spherified just before Thunderclash shows up, Rodimus's least favorite fellow Autobot.
And Tailgate shouts his name in his font.
Yes. Logo font text is the best.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love that Thunderclash calls Thunder a ruffian.
Well, he's supposed to have a British accent, because, he's a 2 dude from Europe.
Well, Well, yes, but also also his colors are great. I would like to note that the original G1 Thunderclash toy had the nickname Color Clash. At one point, a friend of mine took one had one at BotCon or something and counted and determined that he had 13 individual distinct colors on his original toy.
Plus, wasn't there a gradient on at least one of his deco stickers?
Probably, yeah. Probably. So, fortunately here, he's really just got 4. It's mostly white with some teal, some red, and some gold.
And even there's 2 shades of blue.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have Action Master Thundercracker from that same time, and he's got 2 different shades of green on him, and he's an Action Master.
Yeah.
He's not big. So yes, Thunderclash shows up with Megatron and Chrome Dome, who is actually here for a reason. And they chase Sunder off. He calls him a ruffian. It's not that that's a silly word in itself, it's just a matter of scale.
Yes. He's more than a ruffian. Especially since the next thing Sunder does is go back to the docking bay and go into the ship he was kept in, and it turns out the ship he was kept in was made out of, effectively, the corpse of his brother.
Yeah, though first, one other detail, the reason Chrome Dome is there is, again, like I mentioned, Chrome Dome was the one who, saw what had happened to Skids at Grindcore and basically told Skids it didn't need to be remembered. Rung's been slowly working him through remembering it, and when Chrome Dome shows up, he's like, don't tell me, Grindcore. And so Chrome Dome knows exactly what it is that Sunder's trying to draw out of Skids, and so even though he's always saying he's not going to do it anymore, he gets the needles out.
And fixes someone's memory yet again.
Well, in this case, to be fair, it's,
to stop it, yes, but...
To be fair, in this case, it's consensual. But yes.
It's not actually consensual, since Skids is kind of unconscious.
Well, Skids is freaking out, but on the other hand, Skids and Rung had already agreed that it needed to be...
He has the doctor's permission from the patient.
Yeah, so they've basically... He doesn't explicitly consent to it at this moment, but given their prior agreement, then, this is not like Chrome Dome editing Prowl's memory of something he had done because he didn't want him telling Rewind.
It's yet another situation constructed where Chrome Dome has to do a thing again he's promised never to do again.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is something I'm going to get to again in a moment, but it's a useful skill. It's dangerous, but it's a useful skill. So Chrome Dome stays with Skids to try to re-block out those memories, and Rung and Tailgate go running after Sunder. And even Chrome Dome is like, shouldn't you leave that to the fighters? But Rung has a secret weapon. So yes, we go to where it turns out that Sunder has basically the shuttle that he and Freud arrived in turns out to be the corpse of his dead brother. What was it? I wrote it down.
Scepter, yeah.
With an R-E, because British.
Yeah.
And it turns into a great big exosuit. Also, it makes the transformation sound, which is not the last time we're going to see the transformation sound written out.
Yeah.
Actually, was that... Yes, it also did it when he turned...
Freud inside out.
Freud inside out. And it's going to, in fact, show up every time he turns anybody inside out. It says... Well, shit, T-S-C-H, T-S-C-H-E, T-S-C-H... T-S-H-E.
It'd actually be kind of interesting if when he turned Freud inside out, it was reversed. So it was like H-C-S-T.
I vote for this as most horrifying use of the G1 transformation sound.
Yeah. Well, no, that's coming up on the next page.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In general, the use of it for turning people inside out is most horrifying use of the G1 transformation sound. So he's got this giant, shuttle exosuit thing going on now. And Megatron and Thunderclash, well, mostly Thunderclash tries to, talk him down, and he turns Thunderclash inside out.
Yeah, it actually peels his head in two halves, and you can see his brain just sitting in there. Well, the brain ball case thingy.
Lengthwise.
Yeah.
It's pretty horrifying. And yes, it makes the G1 transformation sound. So wrong. And then Rung arrives, and Rung, apparently all his little model spaceships that he has are also remote control.
They can actually fly.
And so he flies them all and basically uses them to destroy Sunder's eyeballs, which he needed to do his horrifying work.
Yeah. Well, he destroys one eyeball, and the rest provide a distraction for what follows.
Yes. So... And he's like, if he can't see, he can't hurt you. And then Sunder, knocks Megatron aside. Okay,
maybe he can still hurt you.
Yes, he can still move. He just can't
So,
flip inside out if he can't see you.
Yes, he can still hit you. So Megatron's fallen on his ass. And there's a big old gun next to him, and Tailgate's like, come on, Megatron, pick up the gun, shoot him.
It's a series of some of my favorite panels. Just, Megatron, pick up the gun! Tailgate's shouting at him.
And Megatron just won't do it. Now, Tailgate is standing by the rod pod, because they're in the shuttle bay. And Megatron won't do it. He doesn't even, at first he doesn't say anything about it, and then he tries to talk Sunder down. He says, back down, Sunder. He says, no, crush you instead. Disengage and no one else need get hurt. Just keep talking, it helps my aim. So Megatron is refusing, basically. He's trying to talk down this lunatic. And then Tailgate picks up the rod pod.
Which, keep in mind, is a ship that Tailgate can ride in.
It's a ship that, a dozen Transformers would fit inside.
It's a ship that an issue took place inside.
Yes.
And he throws it at Sunder in his big shuttle armor, and that does the job. Flattens him. Good job. And Rung says, how could you possibly? He says, I honestly have no idea. I have honestly no idea, because everything is very British. And so we get to the epilogue, where first Rung is tendering his resignation to Megatron. Because, as was revealed in the last issue, on his last ship he was assigned to, basically he had been disbarred, or what the equivalent is, for getting too close to his patients, not practicing his profession according to the proper guidelines.
The proper Robocratic oath, or whatever.
Yes. Basically all of Sunder's, all of Freud and Sunder's big speech about what Sunder could do, which also happened to include the bit about what Rung had done. He had recorded all of that, at least audio, and then sent it to Megatron. So Megatron was then able to go around getting the lights all shut down and telling everybody to hole up in their quarters until everything is taken care of, which is why that's how things were when Tailgate woke up. But yes, that also involved Megatron learning of what happened. Megatron feels that, as he says, no, I won't accept this. You've spent your whole life forgiving other people's mistakes. Why should you be denied that same kindness? And he says that he feels that Rung's patients should decide whether he gets to continue practicing, but Rung feels that that's offensive to his profession and sort of storms off as best he can. And then, even though Ultra Magnus hasn't even been in this issue, we still get a brief shining moment of the new best ship in More Than Meets the Eye, the Megs Magnus ship. Because Rodimus shows up. Because Rodimus, good to see you're in better shape. Did you come up with that joke all by yourself? Ultra Magnus suggested the pause.
Yes. Rodimus was one of the guys that got turned inside out.
Yes. Apparently Megatron and Ultra Magnus conferred on that joke. And So Rodimus has the medical report from Velocity, which I think this is another good example of while Velocity may be a great character, I don't know if she's really cut out for being on this ship because they get in so many medical-related catastrophes.
Yeah, they've gone through, 4 different medics on this ship?
Well, I mean, they've usually, it's not like they usually die. It's
No,
just,
only one of them has actually died.
It's just that they tend to encounter, it's like
weird things.
It's like a TV show. It's like a hospital procedural or something. Or like, I don't know, Bones or whatever, where you have this doctor who's always having to figure out these weird medical cases. Because they're always having these weird medical cases. Case in point, I can only conclude that acute stress-related trauma caused Tailgate's spark, already uniquely susceptible to mutation as a result of the background radiation generated by quantum travel, to evolve. Does evolve into what? What is he? He's a new breed of outlier, enhanced strength, abnormal speed, and vulnerability. So basically, Tailgate is now superpowered.
Yes.
And it's so great, because I like to think that big rainbow flash that happened a couple issues ago was his magical girl power-up.
That sounds about right, yeah.
We didn't get an actual transformation sequence, but I think that was his magical girl power-up. So yes, now little bitty Tailgate is super strong and has, invulnerable, and which I guess it couldn't have happened to a better bot. And then Rodimus confronts Megatron about why he didn't shoot, and Megatron confesses that he has renounced violence.
Which is
dun dun
amazing.
Dun. Yeah.
Megatron, I will never hurt another living creature. Megatron!
After seeing, being confronted by the real visual sign of everything he had done on the Necrobot's planet, and then what happened with Tailgate, where he just sort of freaked out suddenly and, could very well almost killed him, he has now renounced violence, which is a pretty great twist for a Transformers story.
Yeah, well, he's already caused the death of more Transformers than anyone ever.
Yeah.
As Epilogue 2 goes on to remind us.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Epilogue 2 goes on to remind us. So Skids and Quark are headed off to the transportation thing. And apparently, Tarn was so impressed that Skids asked that Quark have his place that he said that Skids should go too. So Skids they're all a bunch of these Autobots, a bunch of these prisoners of war, getting into this big round chamber to be teleported off to another planet. Except then the doors close behind them and it suddenly starts getting really hot. Like, really hot. And then
Tarn plays music, which...
Yeah, he plays the Empyrean Suite, which, yeah. I mean, he's into that, and that's also something that's been connected to Skid's repressed memory. Just as it starts to become clear that something is really, really not right there, Skids gets teleported away up to some sort of viewing platform where Tarn and some of his buddies are up watching. And Tarn has, a little Energon cube that he seems to be drinking from that's a glass cube sort of glass that one might be drinking a liquid from.
He
but
had
it's
a
got
fancy decanter on his desk earlier.
Yeah. He's so great and so terrible. And so, as it turns out, the machine that he had Skids fix was not a teleporter at all. It was a smelting chamber. And he lets Skids see all, Quark and everyone else who he had been, thought he was basically saving by helping fix this machine, all being melted to death.
Ah, the old smelting pool.
Man.
This is some dark stuff.
Yeah, it's shit's got dark, yo. That's my catchphrase. But yeah, the smelting pool in G1 was always one of the darkest things, and yeah, so now we know how Quark died in Grindcore.
I feel like I shouldn't, but I also can't not bring up the parallels with the World War II genocide.
That's...
yeah.
That's not... Given how much James Roberts likes to bring in various real-world political parallels, I don't think that's entirely, not worth bringing up.
It's a very British comic thing. Like, this is almost directly on, 2000 AD kind of stories.
But yeah, Skid says it's an incinerator, a smelting chamber. Tarn says, I prefer teleport chamber. No one queues for a furnace, do they?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's basically, he tricked Skids into helping him build the transformer equivalent of a gas chamber.
Well, he does have a working teleporter, since he teleports Skids out so he can watch everybody else melt.
Yeah, and he does, he did actually let those 50 Autobots go, because he had a video of that.
Yeah, well, the first ones.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
It's a combination. It does explain why the circuits kept overheating earlier, because it is a smelting pool. Because they're smelting down the robots for some specific metal in them to create new Decepticon soldiers, because making sparks is easy. Making new war-worthy bodies, that's something you need parts for.
Yeah.
Other people's parts.
I did wonder for a moment that, if Skids is so smart that he's doing this, why didn't he know what he was working on? But then I remembered that really the way Skids works is that he would be able to figure out how to fix this thing that's in front of him that's broken, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to know what it does.
Yeah.
That's sort of how his learning works, is that he can learn, he can figure things out, but he can't, he wouldn't necessarily be able to tell what that bit of machinery went to. So yeah, that got dark.
Oh yeah. And issue 50's coming, it'll probably just get darker.
Yay!
Apparently it's called The Dying of the Light.
Yay! That sounds great. I didn't need my feelings.
Dying of the Light Part 1, which means there's more parts of dying.
Just dying all over the place.
Considering they've already killed off the entire crew once in a parallel reality, how much darker can you get?
It can get... it's good. I like it. Yeah. I like it when things are dark. But yeah, given that the tagline is Megatron battles his past as the most fanatical Decepticons seek ultimate justice, I think it's fair to say that this is going to be the part that people have been asking for, where the Lost Light and the DJD finally cross paths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This issue felt a bit like trying to get everything into place. Like the A-plot intercutting with the B-plot of Skid's flashback. Mm-hmm. The B-plot was interesting, the A-plot was maybe a bit harder to follow, even if it was horrifying and had some really cool stuff happen in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's already got to be pretty personal for everyone on there, just the DJD, but that certainly brings it a little extra personal for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Poor Quark. He's so grumpy.
I kind of wish we'd gotten back to the present to see Skids' reaction, but I assume that's going to happen next issue.
Well, I think I am assuming that's, that Chrome Dome did fix it, and that...
Yeah, the epilogue
2 was...
Not Skids. Like, he stopped right before he remembered what really happened.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that was for the reader's benefit. I don't think Skids... Chrome Dome got there in time and walled all that stuff off again, so presumably that, that's been taken care of. Poor Skids. He's always so tragic. In every continuity, he's always so tragic.
I don't know. Sometimes he has his good moments, like getting
washed.
car wash, yeah.
Yeah.
Chucking Ravage down a well.
for like 60 issues. Okay, more like 40.
So yeah, tragedy and fan service.
Yeah.
Oh, fan service would be Ravage pushing Skids down a well.
I think tragedy and fan service could be a pretty good title for More Than Meets the Eye, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole book is just tragedy and fan service. Though, of course, for More Than Meets the Eye, the idea of fan service is like drawing wrong with his glasses off. So,
Yes.
having Megatron holding Minimus up to put the star on the tree.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So, does anybody know if there are other comics out next week?
No, well, either I don't know where to look or IDW's website's confusing. It's hard to tell what's coming out any specific week.
I think that's probably why there was so much confusion over, it seems like nobody knows until, at the very least, like, the review servers go live.
Yeah,
Their printing is tight enough that they'd find out if something's not going to make the ship date the week before it would have needed to ship.
Yeah. So, it does look like, though, that at least we won't have long to wait before issue 50.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So we won't have long for our feels to recover before issue 50.
Yeah.
Poor Skids, man. I've always liked Skids. It's fave.
IDW next week, we are getting adjectiveless Transformers, formerly Robots in Disguise, with the beginning of All Hail Optimus, and Transformers vs. G.I. Joe number 11.
Oh,
Alright.
damn you, Optimus.
Probably talk about one of those next week then. And any news that happens to pop up in the meantime. Alright, so I think that's it for this week.
Yep.
Join us next week for more news and more comics. This is Jen.
And Alex.
And David.
Good night.
Damn you, Optimus. This is our
Good night,
planet.
everybody.
Get off it.
Nope. He wants it.